What's up? What's good? It's your boy Tommy Springfield in the house tonight. You know how we do. If you're new here, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications every time I drop one of these videos. And yeah, so tonight we on that Keffe D. Your boy Wack 100 tried to bail out Keffe D, which is allegedly the person who was in the car when Tupac got murdered. Allegedly, Keffe D handed the gun to his nephew Orlando, who was stomped out by Tupac in death row earlier on that night. And Keffe D went on all these shows confessing it, and finally he was arrested. And he was trying to get bail, and the reason he didn't get bail because Wack 100, who was allegedly trying to bail him out, has a big mouth. So let's get into the video. Let's go over why the judge didn't allow Wack 100 to bail Keffe D out. Let's get into it.
Got cancer, I call it that. And here eating y'all processed food. I told that already. It's not in the movie this side. It's processed food. They don't sell no fruit. It's just terrible. Fake potatoes, fake milk, fake everything. It ain't good for extensively. Now I got it again. They took me to the hospital. UMC on the 5th of May. He came to my cell and said, Mr. Davis, are you going to get dressed? You need emergency service. So I went over there, they did all the CAT scans and stuff, and they referred me to my cancer doctor. So I went to him on the 8th of May. He said, I'll get you to do a colonoscopy in a week, CAT scan in 2 weeks, PET scan in 3 weeks. They haven't came here to do nothing. I'm in a life situation and I would pay anything to save my life.
After spending nearly 9 months behind bars, former Southside Compton Crips gang member Dwayne Davis, better known as Keffe D, informed the courts he can now pay the $750,000 it'll take to get him out of jail as he awaits trial for murder. Davis has been in a Las Vegas jail since his September 2023 arrest in a long-awaited breakthrough in a case that shocked and devastated the hip-hop community, the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur. But despite getting the money to afford his bail, it doesn't guarantee Davis will be released.
The first thing I gotta say so far, 2 minutes into this video, did this dude just stand up in front of the judge? He complained about fruit. He complained about the potatoes was fake. He complained about a lot of things. He's 50 plus years old and he's been to jail many times. Didn't he already know that? One of the smartest things an OG ever told me when I went to prison for the first time, he said, "Young blood, if you can't afford to come here, don't come here. People don't know it costs money to go to prison." I didn't know what he meant, but it took a few stays in that hotel for me to figure it out. And this man is complaining about the food in prison. You about to be living there for a long time and you're complaining about it? Wow.
From jail. With Davis months away from his murder trial, in a recent bail hearing, the topic of where the bail money came from sparked some courtroom drama as the defense called a single witness to testify before the judge, a man named Cash Jones, aka music producer Wack 100, who helped provide the money needed to bail out Keffe D.
Mr. Jones, what was the amount that...
Remember, if you're new here, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I give my opinion on these type of videos. And why not? It only helps the channel grow. It's never gonna hurt you, and it's how your favorite channel got to be as big as it is, by people liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Paid for the bail bond premium in this case? $112,000. It was 15% of whatever the 750 was. Okay, so $112,000 and some odd dollars. $500, is that correct? 112.5, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And you did that out of your business?
Yes, sir.
And what's your business name, sir?
100 Entertainment.
And if you're the sole owner of that business, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that business is a business license to do business in the state of Nevada.
Yes, sir.
And how long have you had that business?
Roughly 8 years, maybe.
And again, you used the proceeds from that business and you provided us with the documents showing that those amounts were taken from your business account. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How do you know Mr. Davis, sir?
I know him through passing. I know his son. I know him. We sat down and talked a few times. In general, you know, about personal things. He was having this bout with cancer, and you know, personal things, industry stuff. You know, just regular conversation. He's always been a monumental guy in our community conversation. So you know, and I've helped several people in our community. The funerals.
First and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. Wack 100 is Pyru. If I'm correct, that's a blood set. Keffe D is a Crip. Why is a Pyru trying to bail out a Crip? That's breaking all rules of gang politics. But you know, Wack 100 thought it was a play. He thought he can bail them out and get some movies and some TV shows out of it, which we'll get to in a few. Remember, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all.
In this situation, I know his cancer has been, I don't know if it's come out of remission or they're speaking with his son. I know he's having an issue in there, so I went to help ahead.
But when it came time for the state to question Jones on his motives for posting bail for the former gang member, prosecutors believed Jones to be a middleman, only agreeing to post the bail in exchange for a TV series about Davis's life.
All right, and so the other thing you say in the letter that Mr. Arnold provided to us is that the money is a gift, and Mr. Davis is not obligated to repay. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Do you have any contract between you and Mr. Davis?
Not as of yet.
Okay. Do you have any financial agreement with Mr. Davis?
Not as of yet.
Do you have any financial agreement with his son?
No, I don't. I want him to come work for me. That's what we want to do, is try to get him on the streets.
Now, so are there any stipulations that you have with Mr. Davis in order to put up this money for him?
Connection with the bail bond, I definitely want him to be on house arrest to protect my son.
Now, have you ever said you were thinking about getting Mr. Davis out with the stipulation that you do it seriously?
We've had talks and conversations just about what would be a series, as a DMF series, and just in question, general conversation, talking about his life story. But I'm not in TV land, I'm in music. I don't do TV.
Okay.
With a television show or any of that. I do music streaming, diapers, stuff like that.
Okay, so I just want to be very clear about this. Have you ever stated that you planned on getting Mr. Davis out as long as he did a stipulation with you to do a television series with you?
No, I have said this story would be a very interesting story. As if Orlando Anderson's story would be a very interesting story.
Now, if you smart and if you intelligent, and I know you smart and intelligent because you over here on this channel and I don't do dumb, but you know Wack full of shit. And if you smart and intelligent, you know when a prosecutor or a judge asks you the same question over and over, it's because they have a trick up your sleeve. So this is the second time he's asking Wack 100. Do you have a deal or have you talked about it? And Wack is lying. He's saying all a bunch of bullshit. Oh, you know, I do radio and music. I don't do TV. Okay. That's the line you want to go down. Let's continue.
Well, as if the BMF or as if my story. We talk about it. Everybody talks about it. But again, that's not my lane. That's what he chooses to do. And that's what he chooses to do. That's not what I do.
If someone were to say that the money provided here to bail Mr. Davis out is not from you, would that be the truth or a lie?
Be a lie.
Okay. If someone,
I didn't send the money today.
yeah.
Saying I'm not the one providing the funds.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a lie.
If someone said you are being used as a front, would that be the truth or a lie?
That would be a lie.
If someone says you are a middleman in this transaction, would that be a truth or a lie?
That would be a lie.
If somebody said that there's a movie company putting up the money for you, would that be the truth or a lie?
What company?
A movie company.
No, that would be a lie.
Okay. So your testimony is you're not
I'm not what?
a middleman.
No, I have no contract with any movie companies. I've never had a contract with a movie company. I've never done television. It's not my thing. I'm actually moving out of entertainment into the diaper business. I have a company called Incredible Diapers. I have contracts in Congo, Nigeria, Amazon, Walmart, and Walmart. So I'm really moving away from entertainment. These are things you think I can provide outlets, MOUs, contracts for.
No, and I appreciate that, Mr. Jones.
It's lawyer interview research.
Now, we all know Wack just sat there and gave a bunch of bullshit, and they know Wack is full of shit. And I'm going to show you Wack is full of shit, but I'm going to let the prosecutor say a few more things, and then I'm going to go into showing you Wack full of shit.
Said KPD is a liar. He made up all this stuff just to make some money from people like,
So what they playing right now is the clip from VLADTV. Since they playing it, I might as well go ahead and give you the clip. Now they just asked Wack, hey Wack, you have you said you wanted to make money off of Keffe and Wack? Oh no, we talked about it, but like not really talk about it. We just talk about everything, like the BMF series, and we talk about this and we talk about that, but I don't do movies. Now this is what they pulled up in the courtroom.
Have you ever met Keffe D?
Yeah.
You know him personally?
Yeah.
His lawyer did an interview recently and said Keffe D is a liar. He made up all this stuff just to make some money from people like, me for interviews and to get out of a serious drug case. He was never in Las Vegas. All of this is fake, and he's not connected to Tupac's murder at all.
Yeah, I believe him. You believe him?
Do I believe him? That's up to law enforcement. I'm not going to say.
Keffe D got a bail. He's supposed to be home.
That's up to law enforcement.
He's supposed to be home in the next month. I've been thinking about going to bail him out.
You going to bail out Keffe D?
Yeah, it's only $75,000.
Well, because it's $1 million bond?
Like $750.
$750, so you got to put up $75,000.
Yeah, I've been thinking about going to get him and what the stipulations that I do the series on him. People will watch it.
Yeah.
Last time we talked, we was negotiating the series on Baby Lane, the Orlando Anderson rights, and then my boy Big Bruce let me know I had to talk to Baby Lane's mom, which is Keffe D's sister, which I met with her in Long Beach. We talked for a couple hours. Actually, the day I met Keffe D, he was coming to see you that day or the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came to see you either that day or the next day. I met him that evening. He came to my studio, him and a bunch of his guys, and he's like, I got to go do Vlad. I don't know if it was that day or the next day. He was coming to do your interview. But I mean, you know, at the end of the day, is there a way of proving that what he was saying was actual and truthful on the podcast? He's a street dude in Compton Crip, so you know maybe he was playing the people and just being an entertainer. I mean, after all, you know, do we believe that Denzel Washington is a drug dealer because a crooked cop? Because we've seen what he did on Training Day.
Now he talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, but the point was, he got caught because on this interview, he talked about bailing out Keffe D and making some money, but then he went in the courtroom and started talking gibberish and got caught on this lie. Because listen, they playing that same video right now in court.
Interviews and to get out of a serious drug case. He was never in Las Vegas. All this is fake.
Look at his face.
And he's not connected to Tupac's murder at all. Yeah. You believe him? Do I believe him? That's up to law enforcement. That's how I'm not going to say that. Come on with the next time. He did not go on that now. You got me on PPD. It's always 75.
And here's the thing, you can't even be mad at VLAD. You can't be upset with VLAD. I used to make videos about VLAD. I used to hate VLAD. But then I started realizing that man's just making money. He just capitalizing off of dumb black dudes. I hate to say it, and I hate to bring race into it because it really doesn't have anything to do with it, because VLAD is an equal opportunist. He will interview white people. He will interview black people. So I gotta be honest about VLAD. He's really not racist. He just takes advantage of opportunities. And if you're dumb enough to go on there and answer all his questions, I gotta stop blaming that VLAD. I gotta start blaming the people that sit there for what they think is fame and going viral. That's basically what people do. They try to outtell the next person, but it always bites people in the ass, but they still sit there. I don't know, but let's listen to Mr. Cash, because his name is Cash, lie some more.
It's $1 billion bond at 750. 750, so you got to go to the bond. I also think about going to do anything. Put the stipulations that I do the series on people watching. Yeah.
Prosecutors say Jones wanting to record interviews with Davis both pre and post release would violate the judge's request for Davis not to profit from his statements on the case. Let's pause this story for a quick second to give a thanks to our sponsors. If you know us at Law and Crime, you also know our stories show sometimes the world is an unpredictable place. So if you're ever hurt, it can be confusing and scary, especially if you don't know where to turn. But there's a will let him out on bail fee. Plus, if you're injured, you never want to feel alone.
Whoever, I hope this stays sponsored, because it only costs like $13 to get premium YouTube. And this is Law and Order Network, so of course that was their sponsor. My fault.
As he hopes the judge will let him out on bail, as he currently is fighting cancer.
Mr. David, you heard the conversation between your wife and you while you're in custody.
Oh, and I forgot, his dumb ass got caught talking to his wife about making money. So the number one reason this man is in prison, because he went on all these shows running his big mouth, he wrote a book, and he got arrested. Now, the number 1 and 2 reasons he ain't getting bailed out is because he and Wack 100 got a big mouth. What a great turn of events. Like, he had to be in his cell all day thinking he was going home today, and then he got shot down, so he had to be in his cell like, damn, man, my mouth. Like, I got caught because of my mouth, and I'm still running my mouth. But, somehow we'll flip it and we'll blame it on the white man, and the white man did it, and the white man holding us back, and the white man don't want to see Keffe D free. Yeah, blame the white man.
And when did that conversation happen?
Happened, I think the day of my birthday, June 14th.
At that point, was the bond posted?
No, sir.
What was the reason that your wife came down to have that discussion with you in regards to Mr. Jones and the cash
She
bond?
I'm not signing the paper for, maybe, you know,
And when she said that she didn't like him, who was she referring to?
Kevin Jones. Her family has problems with it. I don't know. She's like kind of, sell out. That's what she said. I was telling her to door off, get her off get her off my back. You know, say I don't want to look like no wolf. Her or her family, you know.
Let me ask the question. Did you think at that time in the bond process that your wife's signature was necessary for you to be released?
Yes, sir.
And so in the effort to convince her to go ahead and get
Since we the only ones in here, Diva Divine Light, you right. You know, black people use that white man speech so much, and I like to preach that if you feel the white man holding you back, you just ain't work hard enough. You feel me? Like, I don't believe in that mythical person holding you back. I just believe if you ain't successful, you just ain't grinding. You ain't worked hard enough. I'm sure white people starting out trying to be successful suffer the same setbacks that every other human being do. But it's just a sad thing that from birth, this is true, from birth, the black person is raised. Yo, the white man after you. The police don't like you. You're taught that from birth. So as you grow up, of course you believe that. So of course every failure in your life you blame on the white man because you've been raised since birth to believe that. And that's a good starting point. Stop telling your kids that shit. Tell your kids if they work hard and grind hard, they will be successful.
signature? What did you tell her in regards to Mr. Jones?
I said, he don't have nobody like that to put up. It's two of the people, just so she can sign on and leave, leave that here. She said, we put the whole page.
Okay, did you, come to find out that you did not need her signature to enter into the bond process?
Found out just, following when she came up and see.
And so any conversation that you had with your wife at that time was in an effort just to get her to comply with the bond process?
That's right. I wanted to come home till I got cancer, and I just called it back. And here eating y'all processed food. I had colon cancer earlier, and it's now that you move to this side, find this processed food. They don't sell no fruit. It's just terrible. Fake potatoes, fake milk, fake everything. It ain't good for ex-cancer patient. Now I gotta.
COVID is over, but I guess that's the new thing to try to get out of prison now. Oh, I'm a cancer survivor and I got cancer. You was a cancer survivor and probably had cancer when you was out there committing crimes. You was a cancer survivor and had cancer when you was going out there giving all these goddamn interviews that got you in here, bro. So using that as an excuse now is kind of silly and useless, but I hear you. And once again, complaining about prison food, that's just silly. And if you go to prison to eat prison food, you silly. Your family's supposed to send you money and you can get decent food off the commissary. I'm just saying, I just happen to been there before and I know a few things, but yeah, bruh, your mouth, bruh. This ain't helping you neither. Complaining to the judge about food, that ain't helping you neither. And the judge ain't gonna give you no better food, bro.
Yeah, it took me to the office, UMC, on the 5th of May. They came to my cell and said, Mr. Davis, are you gonna get dressed? You need emergency service. So I went over there, they did all the CAT scans and stuff, and they confirmed me with my cancer doctor. So I went to him on the 8th of May. He said, I'll get you to do a colonoscopy in a week, CAT scan in 2 weeks, PET scan in 3 weeks. They haven't came here to do nothing. I'm in a life situation and I would take anything to save my life.
At the time of Davis's arrest nearly a year ago,
Yeah, you will say anything to save your goddamn life. You up there lying about the bail money and trying to get out. We know.
authorities would call Davis a shot caller, saying he orchestrated a plan that would later be carried out. So let's go back to nearly 30 years ago to that fatal night of September.
I hate the fact that when he go on all these shows, they call him a shot caller and he was a baller. Maybe you just lose it in your own age, but he has to be the dumbest boss or shot caller in the history of shot calling, because you went on multiple shows confessing to murder, and who more than half of the people who listen to rap music think was the #1 rapper of all time, bruh. That's something you keep secret. That's something you shut up about, because fans will kill you. Fans will run up on you and shoot you. Fans will run up on you and bust you in the head. But you thought it was cool. I'm gonna go tell everybody I shot Pac, or I gave a gun to my nephew and my nephew did it. You dumb, bruh. And I'm sorry. I don't wish prison on nobody, but when you as dumb as you, fuck it, don't send him to prison. Send him to a school to get education for the rest of his life. How about that? I don't know.
September 7th, 1996. Tupac and Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight were attending a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, Nevada. Also in attendance was Keffe D and his nephew Orlando Anderson, as well as other gang members from the Southside Crips. Anderson reportedly had conflict with members of Death Row's entourage and rival gang, the Mob Piru. As both groups were leaving the fight at the MGM Hotel, members of Death Row Records spotted Anderson and a brawl broke out. Hotel surveillance footage from that night shows Tupac repeatedly kicking and punching Anderson. Investigators say once Keffe D found out about the fight, he allegedly devised a plan for revenge. Tupac and Suge Knight were planning to head to an after party, but tragically would never make it. As Suge Knight with Tupac in the passenger seat drove down the Las Vegas Strip, they were caught at a red light. A white Cadillac pulled up next to them. Then gunfire erupted. Knight was grazed by a bullet fragment and sustained minor injuries. However, the case wasn't the same for the California Love rapper, who was shot multiple times in the drive-by. He died a week later in the hospital. While Tupac's death seemingly went unsolved for decades, investigators would trace the crime back to Keffe D, who had long been known to police as one of 4 suspects identified early in the investigation.
It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today. Several of those detectives that are standing here with us include Detective Cliff Mogg, the lead detective on this case. He is now retired. While I know there's been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department, I'm here to tell you that was simply not the case. It was not the case back then, and it is not the case today. Our goal at LV...
And to be honest, I mean, this may not be a popular opinion because, I mean, Pac was Pac, and that's my #1 rapper of all time. I love me some Pac. But, I mean, it's 30 years later. Is this really justice? Is Keith Davis going to jail justice? And here's the thing that didn't make any sense to me, right? Keffe D had some type of immunity, right? He confessed to handing the gun to one dude. The one dude didn't shoot it. Then Orlando said, I'll do it, and Orlando did it, right? He had immunity. But when he confessed to these crimes, those other guys didn't have immunity, and they were alive when he confessed. They're all dead now, but they were alive when he confessed. Why they never went and got them people? Why they never went and got those people when he confessed? Because the shit don't add up and the shit don't make no sense. I mean, I don't know. I just never believed in they did it, because I've been to Las Vegas before, and on a boxing night back then, Mike Tyson, it's hard to find anybody on the strip, and it's not that easy to go to one end of the strip to another. So if you see somebody on the Vegas Strip going one way on a night of a top boxing match in the world, you not going up and busting a Yui as they claim they did. It's just not happening. But hey, if they got evidence saying he did it, he did it. I just never was a firm believer in these dudes doing it.
MPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable, just like we do for every homicide victim in our city. Every single victim, every life that is lost is important and remains a priority to this police department. As we methodically built this case to move forward with an arrest, it was also important that at the same time, we're building towards a successful prosecution. We work closely with our esteemed district attorney, Steve Wolfson, in his office to ensure that is going to happen. Mr. Davis's own words reinvigorated our case in 2018. I'm going to give you some of those details, and I'm going to introduce to you our homicide lieutenant, Jason Johansson, and he will provide you many of the details on how we got here today.
My homicide section handled this investigation from its onset and for a short amount of time. And within a short amount...
Yeah, I mean, you've been investigating it for 30 years. Goddamn, I mean, you better not got it wrong. Everything better be right, because 30 years, you had 30 years, bro. And...
At the time, what we knew was that we were working a gang investigation where our victims, our witnesses, and our suspects were all from Southern California and not local to Las Vegas. Within the first few months of the investigation, our detectives knew most of the information I just briefed you on.
See? They knew.
However, we never had the necessary evidence to bring this case forward.
How you didn't have the necessary evidence when y'all gave him immunity to tell y'all the evidence? So those guys were still alive when he gave his confession. So they could have went and got the other guys and just didn't get him because he had immunity. So I'm still just confused by this case. And even if he goes on, I think you can't find him guilty. Like, if I'm on the jury, I don't think you could find him guilty. It's 30 years. What type of evidence you got? What type of witnesses are you bringing? You're just bringing him to jail because he wrote a book and because he went on some shows? I mean, isn't 90% of the internet fake anyway? Isn't everybody on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook? Aren't everybody just living their best life? You know, do you ever see on YouTube a female post, "Oh, I'm just having a bad day, it's my period and I'm just having a bad day"? Or do you ever see a dude on Facebook say, "Oh man, I just got the littlest D in the world and you know, my D little and girls just turn me down and my D just little"? No, everybody on the internet is overdoing it. Man, I got a 12-foot pole. Because they know the people that's listening ain't got to see it. It's like everybody on the internet lying. So I believe he stretched a lot of this story. And yes, it's coming back to bite him in his ass. I mean, yeah. But did he kill Pac? I don't know. If he's found guilty, is he really being found guilty because of the evidence, or because the people who will be on the jury or the judge know the case and they know Tupac? I don't know. I really don't. I'm just saying. I mean, who am I though? I'm nobody.
And presented for criminal charges. As time went on, this case had been reviewed multiple times by different investigators assigned to my section, but it wasn't until 2018 that this case was reinvigorated as additional information came to light related to this homicide. Specifically,
and then, you know, he admitted it But then the cops that he's involved with, Caden, it's known facts that he was basically banned from testifying in court cases because he was just a dirty cop. And you gotta remember, Caden was hired to disprove that cops had anything to do with the Biggie case. That was his job, but he ended up somehow over here on the Pac case because he went and asked Keffe D and them about the Biggie murder, and Keffe D was like, nah, but I know about the Pac murder. And somehow he allegedly solved the Pac murder. He saved LA because LA was getting sued by Biggie family, and he allegedly proved that cops didn't have nothing to do with it. And we gotta also remember what Suge said. Suge said a lot of bullshit too, but Suge said if you solve the first one, you will solve the second one. So what Suge was saying, if you know who killed Pac, you know who killed Biggie. And he ain't killed no goddamn Biggie. So Suge say if you know who killed the first one, you know who killed the second one. And it ain't Orlando and these dudes.
Wayne Davis's own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets. In our section, we knew at this time that this was likely our last time to take a run at this case to successfully solve this case and bring forth a criminal charge. It was at that time that this case was assigned to Cliff Mogg, a detective within my homicide section. And over the last 5 years, my section worked closely hand in hand with the Clark County District Attorney's Office and followed a systematic investigative plan.
You right about Suge being a liar. Suge lie about a lot of shit, but it's just some shit I believe Suge on, because I don't know how much of these guys you watch, but I watched the whole team. I don't know if you know Reggie Wright. I watched the whole team, but I noticed every time Suge puts out a video, Reggie Wright gotta run right behind it and disagree with Suge. And for the longest time, Reggie Wright wanted Suge to talk. Then as soon as Suge started talking, Reggie don't want him to talk. So that kind of makes me believe Suge been telling a lot of truth, because now Reggie want him to shut up. Now Reggie don't want him to talk. Now Reggie want to be his friend all over again. So, you know, you right, Suge do be lying, but I just believe the theory of if you saw the first one, you'll solve the second one. I just believe that theory.
Over the last...
And why? Because I believe cops was involved with both of them. What cops? Was it the cops that worked for Death Row? Was it cops that worked for LA? I don't know. I just believe cops was involved in both of them.
5 years. We've conducted countless interviews and corroborated numerous facts that were not only consistent with the crime scene on the night of the incident, but also corroborated and were...
Yeah, you gotta watch Reggie Wright over there on Bomb First. I don't know if you know about Bomb First. I don't like Reggie because, once again, Reggie was a cop that got caught dealing drugs, and he turned informant. He told on some people too, and you know, but him and Suge be going back and forth. So, and I'm not gonna lie, Reggie don't always be lying. Once again, it's the internet. All these dudes tell a little bit of truth and they mix it to sound better, because we all know the truth ain't always exciting. So a lot of these stories be true, but they be stretched out a little bit.
Consistent with the sequence of events that night. This ultimately led to us procuring a search warrant, which was executed at Mr. Davis's residence in Henderson, Nevada.
Just like cops was involved, and it's been proven. I read the paperwork. Cops was involved when Suge Knight got shot at Chris Brown party. It was alleged that this particular sheriff was seen on camera letting the guys in, Then he was seen at the airport dropping the guys off that shot Shook. So cops was involved in a lot of that LA shit.
And following the execution of that search warrant, in close coordination with the district attorney's office.
And the reason that was because back in the day, I think LA was like the first, if not the only police station in the world to lower their standards because they needed police bad. Like, it was bad that they needed police and nobody was signing up. So they had to lower their standards to get people to take the job, and therefore you got dudes that were street dudes, you know, black, white, brown, didn't matter. They were street dudes. You got mobsters getting jobs and becoming cops, but still doing what they were doing before they were cops. And that's why LA was known as one of the dirtiest police forces in the United States, because they lowered their standards so low just to get people to take the job. Shit, criminals was in line to be police.
This case was presented to the grand jury, which ultimately led to Davis being indicted on charges of murder.
Keffe D was one of 4 men inside the vehicle where the shots came from, riding with Terrence Brown as the driver, as well as Orlando.
And here's another thing. If you go back and you search it on the internet, these wasn't the original guys they say were in the car. Because at first it was just 2 guys in the car. Then it switched to 3 guys in the car. And then it went to 4 guys in the car. So all these stories about the Pac and Biggie murder is just all messed up. And we'll never know.
Anderson and DeAndre Smith in the back seat. Over the years, Keffe D reportedly blabbed about being involved in the murder of Tupac. In Davis's 2019 tell-all memoir titled Compton Street Legend, he admitted to providing the gun used in the drive-by shooting. He said he was in the front passenger seat of the Cadillac and slipped the gun into the back seat where the shots were fired from, even implicating his own nephew, Orlando Anderson, in the murder, saying he was one of 2 people in the back seat. He would reiterate those claims in an Art of Dialogue interview posted to YouTube in 2021, nearly 2 years before his arrest.
And the homies like, man, they've been advertising all week. They're going to be at the 662 Club.
Yeah.
Do a little thing at their concert after party.
Yes, they all dead. And that was my issue. Like I was saying earlier, when he confessed, when he had his little whatever, because it's seeming like from right now what they saying his immunity was fake. He got played by Greg Gator and them. But yes, they were all dead, but when he confessed, they wasn't. That's my point. When he originally confessed back in the day, everybody was alive except for Orlando. So why they never went and got the other 2? Why are you getting him now? It makes no sense.
So we went up there, and we waited about an hour. They didn't ever show up. We left, went to the liquor store, got us some drinks.
And, you know, call it conspiracy theory, call it whatever you want to call it. I'm a firm believer in shit be distractions. Like, this is just a distraction because, like, technically it makes no sense. One, every possibly future jury, especially in LA, in Las Vegas, is tainted. Like, you're not gonna find too many people who don't know about this case, and that's the whole goal of a jury, is trying to get people who don't really know about the shit. And like, what possible evidence do you really have than other him going on shows? Like, technically you can't talk about him having immunity and him confessing. So VLAD is the biggest show in the world. So how many people biggest hip hop show in the world, my fault. Biggest hip hop show in the world. He's number 1, right? So how many people you gonna find in a jury that don't know VLAD? How many people you gonna find in a jury that don't know a lot of people go on VLAD and exaggerate the truth? So it's like, I don't even know what this is about or why. Is it just a distraction because some other shit? I don't know.
Them dudes in that van was acting like hoes and shit. Well, not all of them, but, you know, majority of them.
I think you said in your book that you got tired of, like, hearing them, like, you know,
act like this dude from, The police gonna kill us. Dude, you know this mother how the police kill you. I'm like, man, him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you ended up getting in the car with Baby Lane and them?
I got in the car with the homies, yeah. And we ran into them. We went up to the light on Sunset and Flamingo. And dude was acting like he was in a parade or something. And that BMW hanging out the window. Hey, this Tupac, he's Tupac. And then they was hollering for him. And we there go that mother. It came up on the side of him. And yeah, he was hanging out the window. And we just came up on the gutter lane. It was like 13 cars. All of them was black too. I guess Suge had a thing for the black cars that night. So we went up on the side of them. And we seen him. And out there she wrote.
And I read in the book you said that it looked like you guys rolled up and Pac reached.
Like he was reaching, yeah. It looked like he was ready to bust our ass. Like we was the first one. Shit.
Yeah.
Luckiest one, I guess. Hit that corner. Gave a little chase. Boom, boom, boom. Got the busing. We bust back. Jumped up out that mother Cadillac. Put the gun on the tire. Got the on.
So how did you know Tupac and Suge was in the black BMW?
He was hanging out the window.
Tupac?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
He had half his body out the window. Yeah. Just, you know, that Bay Area. You know how they do. That weird. Like Ghost Rider whip. You know, they just want to be flamboyant. You know what I'm saying? Want to be seen and
But you said the females was yelling Tupac name, right?
Yeah, once
that's how
hanging
y'all
out the
found
window.
out they was in the car, right?
Tupac, Tupac, and he was, you know, and, you know, real, he gonna be sitting down and set his down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'll be hanging out no window. Just want to be seen and
Right. So,
what's up?
So you and your crew, y'all on Flamingo and Koval, and y'all slowly pull up to Tupac and Suge in a black BMW. Tell me how that came about.
We just took the gutter lane and like we said, we pulled up to the little stoplight and they was making a right. It was about 17 cars. We just pulled up in the gutter lane and seen it. You know, and I first shot it, hit big boy in the head. I thought he was dead. Like, damn, he dead. And they didn't even give chase, make it so bad. Some brawls gave a chase. And they got their little windshield shot out. It was over with after that.
Dre, he was the one that was supposed to shoot, you know, Tupac and Suge, but he got scared, right?
No, he didn't really get scared. You know, he wasn't ready for that. They was youngsters, man. Kids.
But once again, I mean, y'all Crips, right? So he should be used to that, right, Dre? So why was
he wasn't ready for that? Everybody got a role, man. Everybody ain't killers. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna kill.
So
everybody
Dre,
ain't
he
with
wasn't
that.
a shooter?
No.
Okay, so but he was the one that was supposed to shoot up Tupac and Suge, but for some reason he wasn't ready for it, so he gave the gun to Orlando, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And Orlando is the shooter. He's the known shooter. I mean, everybody know Orlando Anderson was a shooter. So Dre got cold feet. He didn't want to do it. He gave the gun to Orlando, and Orlando shot Tupac and Suge.
Yeah, he did his thing, yeah.
But since those interviews, Davis is having a change of tune, as he's now denying all involvement. Keffe D now remains the last person standing who was in the Cadillac on the night of Tupac's murder. Orlando Anderson was gunned down in May of 1998. The other backseat passenger, DeAndre Smith, died in 2004. And the driver, Terrence Bubble Up Brown, was killed in a 2015 shooting in Compton, California. And fast forward to 2024, as the trial is slated to kick off in November, it remains unclear if a judge will allow Davis to prepare for his trial behind a jail cell or from his home.
So, because him and Wack 100 ran their mouth, Wack 100 was on the federal agent, YouTube's #1 federal prosecutor, VLADTV's channel, running his mouth, and it was played in court. And that kind of leaning the judge toward not giving them bail. The judge basically already was like, I can deny this right now, but I'll give y'all a little bit of time to go get y'all shit together. So, don't know if Keffe D is gonna get bail, but at this point, it's on hold. And what's crazy about it, a Blood is trying to bail out a Crip, and it was all for profit, and they got caught, and that's what the judge believed. It's all for profit. But thank you. If you watched, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I drop videos and do lives. If you're a supporter of the channel, much love and respect. Salute. And if you're one of them haters, cut the shit.